They are waiting for additional portion of the Regen Ethereum LP to be placed because regenerative.fi needs to approve the pool before additional liquidity can go into place. But yeah, 120K in additional liquidity added from that. And where we hope to see more of these liquidity agreements happen. So, I mean, just to give the basics of it is basically there are folks that have a bunch of regen that are very interested in there being greater liquidity and greater action in the liquidity markets. And there are other folks who have Ethereum or stable coins that would be interested in placing liquidity, but with some sort of price protection or added incentives. And so the agreement was basically built around that idea, bringing these two parties together. If anyone on the call or anyone you know would be interested in something similar, let's chat. Please reach out to me. Liquidity DAO emissions transfer number one just executed, I think 2 nights ago. So 178,000 regen coming from the emissions of the regen ledger have now been dropped into the Liquidity DAO wallet. This is something that will be happening on a regular cadence, maybe every 2 weeks or so. We'll be manually adding an emissions transfer that moves those already approved funding over to the Liquidity DAO wallet. And these first funds, as well as additional funds that Liquidity DAO already had in their coffers, are going to be used in a token swap with regenerative.fi. So this is not signed or executed at this point, but just high level is that we're looking at doing a regen refi liquidity swap, wherein both sides would take their a portion of their the refi team would take the regen they receive and they would pair it with refi token and stake and provide liquidity on regenerative.fi, and we would do the same with our half. And then we would take half of the refi tokens we receive and put them in a VE refi position. That should say VE refi, not VE regen. And that what that'll do is it give us voting power on the regenerative.fi decks so that we can point rewards towards the regen pools. And then Regen Liquidity DAO will also hold a liquidity position, receive some of those rewards, stake that refi back into more VE refi, and basically creating what they call a regen relay. So hopefully growing our liquidity over time, growing the amount of incentives that are pointed towards regen pools, and encouraging others to provide liquidity as well. So that's a high level of what we're up to right now. Certainly there's more going on, and love to chat more in our Telegram channels or wherever. Thanks, everybody.
Any questions for Christian about all of this movement on the liquidity front? Just
I'm pumped.
Yeah, I'm pumped, and just a big shout to the whole Liquidity DAO team and Christian for their stewardship. And just as a reminder, our goal here is to be very transparent about all these activities, so that the entire market understands the activities around moving regen, into these markets, and ideally stimulating trust building and knowledge sharing for the future of the health of regen tokens. So if you have questions, if you have suggestions on strategy, if you want to participate in the conversations, Max and Christian are outstanding resources on that front. And I encourage you to reach out to them, DM here, or you can go also to the Regen coin page on the Regen Network website. Thanks again. And then I know Brandon just jumped in. Brandon, we were just discussing Liquidity DAO and tokenomics updates. If you had anything else you wanted to share about some of the pilots that you've been running, now would be a good time. If you don't, that's fine as well.
Yeah, I'm experimenting with concentrated liquidity on Uniswap for base chain in anticipation for Coinbase opening up to base chain. And so I just have some capital and some regen, and I just put the two in the tightest range possible to facilitate better trading environment in the base ecosystem, and it contributes to the cross-chain landscape that we're building with Liquidity DAO. Really excited about everything that's developing there. Markets are really taking off.
Yeah, and big shout to Brandon. He's really been pioneering just novel cases and making sure that yeah, that we're seeing real time the results of some of his experiments. So it's a good place to learn and continue to contribute if you have your own ideas out in the community. Thank you, Brandon. Appreciate it. There was a question in the chat. Christian, will there be incentives for liquidity provision on regenerative.5?
Absolutely, yes. The launch of regenerative.fi is weeks away. I don't know how many weeks, but probably in the 3 to 6 weeks is the best guess that I've heard recently. Once that launches, they're going to be running in the same method that Aerodrome Dex runs on base, which basically means there's a whole set of people who are staking their refi tokens, and those stakers are able to point their votes, their incentives towards specific pools. Like I mentioned earlier, Liquidity DAO is taking a stake in refi and will be pointing all of our incentives at regen pools. So there will be incentives there, and we encourage you to come provide liquidity.
Good question. Thank you, Christian, for that answer. Okay, we're going to keep on moving. Regen at Climate Week. I'll take this slide. For those of you not aware, Regen is a global participant in a number of the major climate gatherings around the world. Bringing our expertise in the development of programs around ecological asset markets and our platform, obviously. We participate in a number of discussions. The ones you see here are all discussions that we will either be panel or presenting on. So for those of you in New York City or on the East Coast who want to stop in, this is our roster of places that will be showing up and presenting, and we'll be happy to report back. But it's going to be a major point of business development for us, looking for corporations and institutions, NGOs that are in the space of developing, designing, and deploying ecological assets and bringing, helping bring ecological health to the balance sheet around the balance sheets around the world. So for those who are on the East Coast, feel free to reach out to me, David@regen.network, if you'd like to meet up, or if you would like to attend an event, we'll do our best to get you in there. But yeah, we'll be more or less out of pocket, some of us from the 18th to the 26th or so. But very exciting, and follow Twitter, follow RegenX to keep up to date on what's moving there. Regen Foundation, I think Austin is here. Austin, do you want to share what's moving at the foundation, please?
Yeah, I'm excited before Climate Week. Thanks for putting a lot of organizing muscle into that, Dave. Shout out to you. I appreciate it. As a New York native, it's fun when people come to town. Or I don't know if I'm a native, but at least I live here. So yeah, foundation, like feeling really animated and excited for the fall. We're putting a ton of effort and energy into learnings, both on a sort of theoretical and a practical level, into a book that's going to be coming out in November. And it's going to be a coverage of some of the partnerships and prototypes that we've been developing with Regen Network, as well as some like new thinking around regenerative governance frameworks, paired with essays that we call mythologies. So a nice blend of thinking and then very tangible applied practice. Yeah, so you can go ahead. We've got like some nice, all of the compiled text from the different pieces, as well as about 4 new pieces. You can go ahead. And this cool premise of like tear out cards that are basically like a tabletop game to workshop governance design for grassroots and regenerative organizations. This is all like in process, so not final. But it should be like a mix of an actual book and something more interactive and tangible. You can go to the next one. What's coming up in the horizon is that myself and some friends at Hilo, as well as I think Open Civics, will be leading the next Trans Bioregional Coordination Circle. That's in partnership with the BioFi crew. This is a circle for those who are not part of their incubator, but who have been influential in the creation and the development of the larger BioFi movement. Um, not new organizations, not nascent projects, but much more sort of veteran experienced ones. So this is a cool convening for different organizations that have been working with boots on the ground in regeneration for several years now, like Regen has been. And I just got off the recording call for a new session on the Green Pill podcast. That's where the theme is on network nations, which is uh, an emerging body of legal theory that sort of came out of some responses to Balaji's network state, and was popularized on a podcast, Overthrowing the Network State. So Network Nations looks at how new kinds of distributed technologies can enable coordination for values-aligned communities to form on a planetary scale. So yeah, the third episode in the Green Pill podcast is on regen and regeneration movement, and I was joined by Kevin Owaki from Allo and Gitcoin, and Monty from Refi DAO, and trying to give some texture and some language to this very polycentric but still deeply aligned movement of regeneration that's happening. And yeah, I think in some ways it's not a given that everyone's the same. There's actually quite a bit of distinction and differentiation there, but that's another thing that's exciting to look forward to and have on the horizon. So be on the lookout for that, the Regen episode of Green Pill podcast to come out probably in the next week or so. Next slide. And then last but not least, we had a really interesting conversation with some of the tribal elders of the Maori Nation in the northern part of Aotearoa last week that are interested in developing this ecological institution premise around a beach in the northernmost tip of present-day New Zealand, aka Aotearoa. So we met with like a whole tribal council that is overseeing the sort of sovereignty movement of a particular set of Maori iwis in the Northland, and they're interested in developing a DAO and an ecological institution in collaboration with Regen. So that's like years and years in the making, and I feel like it's time to start sharing that more publicly. So actually a really big milestone in terms of partnership development. I'm super excited. I think that's what we've got.
Thank you, Austin, and the foundation, critical partners to everything that we do here in the network. So very grateful for your work. Lovely.
Right on.
Regen Builder Lab. Austin or Becca, you want to pick this one
Yeah, I
up?
guess I could just speak to this a bit and then I'll pass it over to Becca. We had a really fun Regen Builder Lab last week with DAO coming live on Regen. Um, we did the stupid thing where we did a live demo during the Builder Lab and it worked. It like really worked,
Amazing.
which is awesome. Uh, so just going right ahead and using RBL as a sandbox to make a DAO that's now governing the future potentials of RBL. And yeah, testing out the workflow for the foundation team as well as the larger R&D team to be fluent in introducing DAO to others, feeling like it doesn't collapse or fall apart in your hands, which it doesn't. It's a stable, like reliable build, which is freaking awesome. And yeah, I'll go digging for the URL, but the RBL is now a DAO, and the foundation will put some tokens in its treasury so that there can be some cool governance experiments around that project, and it's part of this ongoing process of decentralization. And as always, very, very appreciative to the registry team and Becca for supporting and participating in that. Maybe I don't know what the next one's going to be about. Maybe you do. Maybe you have reflections on this last one. Maybe I'm passing it to Becca. Maybe so we can stay on
Yeah,
this slide.
I think I was just struck by how like the energy of it. People really loved that it was like will it break? Will it work? And like the live demo energy, I feel like made people feel rather at home in in what is an ever-changing world for both like how to govern at a grassroots and scaling level, and then like what tools are available. So I think that was a signal to me that we can make things a little more alive with our demos and take some risks that people appreciate feeling kind of a part of the journey.
Yeah, it's cool to invite people in to be like, this might break in front of us. Let's see. And it actually is a great way to instigate engagement by something like making it a feature, not a bug, that it's new tech and that we're building it together.
Yeah.
And it's rather unprecedented for a live demo to work. So congratulations.
Exactly.
All right. We'll keep moving. Becca, do you want to pick this one up?
Yeah, so I picked this out. I've been going through the unregistered projects, which to me are like really such a testament to folks that are finding the Regen app and using it for, the values that they're trying to bring to bear. So this is a group that they are literally working on building a like memorial forest and using all the cremation ashes as like, amendments to these trees that they're growing. And this is in Australia. And so they have just like a very particular like ecological purpose and value that they're providing. And I think it's really cool that they wanted to land their story on the Regen app. And to me, like really bring a lot of our work just on all different planes of all sorts of ecosystems to like a very human heart. So yeah, I wanted to share this group, Living Legacy Forest.
Lovely. Yeah, and for those interested, if you go to the Regen app, you can toggle through. I think there's actually something in the range of like 69 projects listed now on the application on the Regen app. And any of you on this call can develop your own project. It costs nothing. It's a way, if you are working on regenerative projects anywhere in the world that you want to communicate about and share information, photos, stories, data, you can do so today and use it as your landing page for a project anywhere you want. So if you have questions about how to do that, we're always looking to hear about also your user experience in interacting with the platform. Please don't hesitate to reach out and we'll be happy to support you. Awesome. Well, next slide. Regen registry updates.
Yeah.
Becca?
Yeah, so we have through the methodology for carbon and other GHGs, the managed crop and grassland protocol. There are now 21 projects total, and 11 are being registered now. So this is, I think we've seen our process and program and platform, work for a lot of different use cases, but now we're seeing it work for scale. So it's been interesting, for me who works really closely with this protocol in particular, that that we're finding a lot of efficiencies. We're bringing that to bear on our software as well, so that it serves everybody that's trying to develop projects and really find their way to creating value that funds their ecological work. So these projects are based in the UK, but they're looking at developing a lot of projects elsewhere. So exciting to share that. Next slide. There's a public comment open. I'll drop the link into chat for a new protocol around atmospheric nitrous oxide. And it's an interesting kind of like amendment product that's added to like break N2O down. And it's using the technology of photocatalysts. So you're welcome to get in to review that and drop your comments. You can also join the Hilo group or just the Hilo event and drop comments there as well if you're just more interested in a light discussion. So that's kind of just a couple of top things moving at the registry.
All right, we'll keep moving. Great. I think we have a couple friends from the Gaia team here. Do one of you want to pick this up and bring us up to speed on Regen AI?
Yeah, sure. Hey guys, Darren here. Yeah, we're launching a grant. It's a IRL in real life grant application that is live now, and we're giving away $888. And yeah, it's basically open to anybody that's, making ecological impact out in there in the world. We've done one of these before. Actually, we've done a couple, and we've had projects, doing like beach cleanups, planting trees. So yeah, we're just encouraging everybody to apply to this. We'll make a post on Twitter about it. Also, we've been developing some agents, we have 4 that are live on the public Telegram and soon X and Discord. And these agents were basically connecting with a lot of curated regen content from like the websites, the Twitter, the different platforms, and the docs and everything. So we've been working on ingesting all of those and processing them, and we've been exploring a kind of like a metabolic ontology, which was proposed by Greg as kind of like a kind of focusing on taking inspiration from like living systems and metabolic flows, in terms of how, like, what kinds of things that we're tracking and accounting for. So yeah, just working on making things relevant and discoverable and searchable. And yeah, we encourage people to go onto the Telegram, and test out the bots. They're we're still working on them, improving them, but they are there. And oh yeah, and we also will be at Climate Week as well, me and Samu and Sean. So yeah, looking forward to being there and connecting with people.
Fantastic. Thank you,
I just
Darren.
want to piggyback on that
Yeah.
for one moment. Thank you so much, Darren, and great to be back, guys. Just was at Burning Man and was sharing a lot about everything we're doing here, and have some awesome new collaborators that we'll loop in on future calls. Just like with the Regen IRL, we're going to be doing our big public push for it starting on Monday. It's kind of like we're beta testing it starting today, and just coming on the heels of the liquidity provisioning that's happening. The timing is just very synergistic for us to do a really strong push, throughout September, but we're really, starting right now, and we've been working hard behind the scenes to get ready for this. So excited to share with you guys going forward.
Fantastic. Thank you, Gaia team. And for those of you who are interested, maybe Gaia, if you could put the Regen Gaia partnership announcement from your paragraph site here in the chat, in case people are interested in learning more about the relationship, that would be fantastic. Okay, let's keep moving. Regen product. Sam Bennett, our director of product, is here and has got some exciting updates to share.
Great. Thanks, Dave. Yeah, so I think that a lot of folks might have heard this, but we finally got DAO on Regen Ledger, which is a really exciting milestone. Big shout out to Noah from the DAO team for doing some really awesome work, just supporting us and getting that on Regen Ledger. It's in the DAO app now, so you can actually use the DAO app to create DAOs on Regen Ledger. And I know that there are a few that have been talked about on this call that are already there. Also, in launching DAO on Regen Ledger, we contracted Noah to build out what's called the role-based authorization module. And essentially that extends more traditional organization permission functionality to DAOs, in which you can actually create members that have different roles and authorize them to automatically execute certain transactions without going through a governance proposal. So very similar to how an organization would work, where you have your CFO that should just be able to move money around without necessarily needing to have a vote for it. That functionality now is in the DAO toolkit, and we're going to be using that for our new feature. So for those that haven't heard about this on previous calls, we're working on a new feature in the Regen app for multi-stakeholder organization and project management. So what this is going to do is we're going to do two things. The first is we're introducing organizations as DAOs within the Regen app. So once this feature is live, you can go in and you can make an organization in the Regen app. And what that's doing behind the scenes is it's creating a DAO. You can add members with various positions like the owner, the admin, an editor, and then those members can, do things like update projects or send credits, list them for sale. And this will really just like help extend app functionality to anything that you would expect in a traditional kind of more complicated app where you can have organizations with varying permissions. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing is we're also extending that same functionality to project management and allowing collaborative project management across organizations for both on and off chain projects. So each project will have a DAO. Different roles can do things like edit the project page or contribute data posts or manage credits. And so these are just some mock-ups of the features that we're currently building. And then kind of more complex functionality for people that still want to engage in, governance proposals and treasury management can actually just use the DAO app to use that functionality. So this is something that we're really excited about. We'll probably have something up on the dev app and on testnet in the next month. And then, kind of expecting a feature launch in a month and a half or so. So that's kind of one thing that we're working on with the Regen app. The other is we're currently going through a Next.js migration. Next.js is just a different framework that supports kind of just quicker app rendering. And so we're really focused on app performance and speed just to support kind of, the community in being able to use the app a little bit more effectively. Next slide. Cool. So yeah, that was the kind of, wearing my hat as, working for R&D on the app. And then in the framework working group, which kind of sits, within R&D, but also a little bit outside of it. We've been doing some exciting work on the framework that we've been building in RDF. So big shout out to Corey Levinson and Paul Weirder for supporting and standardizing all of the schemas for credit protocols and projects on Regen Ledger. We have kind of the new data sets that we want to use uploaded in an Apache Gina instance, which now allows us just to do Sparkle query generation across all of the projects and credit protocols in our ecosystem. And then, me and Giancarlo are kind of just exploring in our free time how we can leverage AI for automated Sparkle query generation to support kind of AI initiatives and different tools that we want to build. And then I personally am just working on updating the framework site. So that's a little kind of demo of what you will see one day.
Very exciting. Thank you, Sam. Any questions for Sam on the app, DAO integration, or what's going on with Framework Working Group? All right. Let's keep moving. I think we're getting near the end here. Oh, we are near and at the end. Wonderful. Well, I want to take a moment. If any of our folks that are new to this community call have any questions, Maddie or welcome, and from I think our Eat Denver connection 144 if you're interested, or Bajomo, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them or speak up. Otherwise, we're super grateful to have you here, and look forward to you spreading the good word to your communities about all the activity in Regen Network and becoming an active member. All right. Well, folks, let's take back a little bit of time, end early, and get on our way. Thank you so much to everyone for all of your contributions to the network. We'll be back a month from now with all kinds of new feedback and energy following Climate Week as we get closer to launching new features in the app. So please join us again, and we'll see you in October. Thanks, everyone.
Come hit up the Telegram and try out these new bots.
Yeah, go test our bots. See if they're accurate.
Yeah.
All right, bye everybody. Take care.
Bye.